Do you struggle with sleep? Then you are not alone. As a practicing cardiologist, I tend to see lots of my patients who struggle with sleep and who quite a few of them are dependent on pills. So if this is you, then today's video is gonna help you. In today's video, I am going to discuss about easy 7 lifestyle changes which you can do to promote a good quality sleep. So sleep crisis is actually quite prevalent. Most of us have some sort of sleep related issues sometime or the other in our life, and 20% of us have a chronic sleep related issues. And sleep related problem, if it is a long standing, not only causes various sort of mental problem like depression, anxiety, restlessness, but also can lead on to health related ailments, like it can increase the blood sugar, blood pressure, and can promote heart disease as well. So that's why a good quality sleep is very essential. It not only impacts our physical and mental health, lack of sleep or poor sleep also has an impact on our productivity. Our work efficiency comes down, as well as our interpersonal relationship also suffers quite a lot. And to avoid that, those who are having sleep related problems, they rely on sleeping pills, sometimes on a chronic basis. While sleeping pills can help them to sleep, but these are not actually, they do not address the root cause. And sleeping pill has its own problem, like it produces a dependency. Unless and until you take the sleeping pill, you won't be able to sleep. So it becomes like a patient becomes dependent on that medicines, sleeping pills. And once you sleep after taking a sleeping pill, the next day you do not feel refreshed. You feel groggy, your alertness comes down, your mental, there is a fogginess, so you do not feel good the following day. It's not like a normal refreshing sleep which is natural. So in order to prevent that, we need to have a good quality sleep naturally. And today, now I'm going to discuss how to do that. The first and foremost to have a good quality sleep is to have a consistent sleep schedule, which is the most important of all the sleep related habits that I'm going to discuss today. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule. That means go to the bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. There could be a difference of half an hour plus minus, but try to maintain that sleeping time and waking time, especially even during weekends also, when you're on a holiday or a vacation. Try to maintain the same timetable, because sometimes what happens on weekend, we tend to think, okay, we'll sleep a bit late and we'll get up a bit late and we'll compensate that later, but it doesn't happen. It actually confuses our body, and our body, since our body works on a sleep wake cycle, and once it gets confused, our sleep gets hampered. So on a persistent basis, irrespective of whether it is a weekend or irrespective of whether it is a holiday or you're on a vacation, try to sleep at the same time and try to wake up at the same time. Maintain the sleep schedule. That is the most important. If you maintain that, you are gonna improve your sleep significantly. Second thing which you need to do to promote a good sleep is to have a digital detox. All of us nowadays are addicted to our phone. So we are addicted to a social media, we surf the internet, we use various electronic gadgets. Even on bed also, we tend to look at our screen, especially from mobile phone. And these electronic gadgets, they usually emit a blue light which hampers our sleep, because in order to sleep, our brain secretes a hormone which is known as melatonin, and melatonin promotes sleep. And this blue light which gets emitted from these devices, electronic devices, they hamper the release of melatonin. So our sleep gets hampered. We tend to take longer time to fall asleep. Not only that, our sleep also gets fragmented. We tend to wake up at night. So not only our sleep onset becomes late, but our sleep also gets fragmented once we get exposed to this electronic devices, especially at night. So try to avoid using electronic gadgets at night, especially a couple of hours before going to the bed. So that is digital detox. So you can access your mobile phone, you can access all your electronic gadgets during daytime, no problem. But especially few hours before going to bed, try to avoid it as much as possible. For those who cannot avoid it because of some profession, because of their profession, then they can use something else. They can use a glass, reading glass, which has a blue light blocking glass tinted on it. So blue light blocking glass, they can make use of it while looking at a screen, or they can use some apps on their mobile phone or their electronic gadgets, and these apps actually blocks these blue lights. And these apps are actually present both on the Android device as well as on the iPhone and Apple devices. So we can make use of this blue light blocking app in order to see those devices at night. So ideally, better to avoid the devices before bed, but if it is not feasible, then you can use either a blue light blocking glass or a blue light blocking app on your device. Number third, in order to have a good quality sleep, is to avoid unnecessary daytime napping. Most of us are accustomed to have a daytime sleep or a nap. So those who are having a sleep issues, try to avoid daytime nap, and especially try to avoid daytime nap beyond 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And if you at all have to take a nap for whatever reason, try to keep it as short as possible, not beyond 20 minutes. Because if you take a prolonged nap and if you take a long nap, you are gonna struggle to have a good sleep at night. So that is number three, to avoid a late nap and a prolonged nap in the afternoon in order to have a good sleep during night. Fourth, you should create a good relaxing environment before going to bed. So before going to bed, you can do some relaxing activities, like you can read some book, you can listen to some music, you can do some relaxing activities, like you can do some breathing exercises or some gentle stretching, or you can take a warm bath. So all those things you should do before going to bed. As well as try to avoid a bright light before going to bed. Try to have a amber colored light at your room, especially in your bedroom, and use your bedroom only for sleeping. There are lots of us who use their bedroom, even just they read newspaper or book on the bedroom or see TV lying on their bed. So prevent that, don't do that. If you want to have a good quality sleep, use your bed only for sleep at night. Fourth, and one of the most important thing, is to have a good exercise during daytime. Many of us tend to overlook that phenomenon. Actually, exercise during daytime is very, very important in order to have a good quality sleep at night. Especially if you go for a morning walk and get exposed to the morning sun. At least you should have a 20-minute sun exposure during early morning. If you have that early morning sun exposure, your melatonin gets secreted at night, which promotes sleep. So go for a walk, engage in physical activities throughout the day, especially in the morning, and expose yourself under bright sunlight. It helps you in maintaining the sleep-wake schedule, and you will be able to sleep quite effortlessly when the time comes. And do the exercise during early part of the day, and try to avoid exercise, especially vigorous exercise, towards the later part of the day. Because if the exercise is done too close to bedtime, it also prevents an adequate sleep, or onset of sleep gets delayed. So do an exercise early part of the day, get exposed to the sunlight, but avoid too vigorous an activity too close to bedtime. Number 6, and many of us do that, we tend to take late dinner. A late dinner has been seen to prevent sleep, because once we take an heavy dinner, late dinner, and if you try to sleep immediately after that, our body is still in the active process of digesting that food which we have taken. So our heart rate increases, our body temperature increases, so we won't be able to sleep properly, and our sleep gets hampered significantly. So if you want to have a good quality sleep at night, try to take a light dinner and try to have dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Next, to prevent an insomnia or lack of sleep, you should avoid late evening stimulants like tea, coffee, smoking, and alcohol. Tea and coffee should be avoided beyond afternoon. Tea and coffee can be taken in the morning time, but tea and coffee, if it is taken in the evening or late evening, it remains in our system, remains in our brain, and it prevents the sleep. So to have a good quality sleep, avoid late evening tea, coffee, and drinking and smoking as well. And last but not the least, your bedroom should be conducive to sleep. It should be cool, dark, noise free as much as possible. You should take care of your linens, your mattresses, pillows. It should be comfortable so that you can have a good quality sleep. So all those 7 habits are very, very important, and all those things, if you follow, you'll be able to have a good night's sleep. Nutrition also plays a significant role. Especially magnesium and tryptophan is something which promotes sleep. Magnesium is a mineral which decreases our anxiety. It calms us down and promotes sleep. And tryptophan is an amino acid which tends to increase the secretion of melatonin. And melatonin, as we have discussed, is a sleep hormone which induces sleep. And there are various food items which has good quantity of magnesium and tryptophan. And if you take these food items, it promotes a good quality sleep. Like what all these products which have a good quality of magnesium and tryptophan, like banana, avocado, nuts and seeds. Especially pumpkin seeds are a very rich source of magnesium, spinach and green leafy vegetables. So all those things, if you take, which is a good source of magnesium and tryptophan, promotes sleep. And last but not the least, although we have spoken that tea and coffee should be avoided because they prevent sleep, because they are the enemy to the sleep, but there is a different type of tea, a particular type of tea which helps us in sleep rather, and which is a chamomile tea. Chamomile tea basically contains a substance known as apigenin, and apigenin actually calms our brain down. So normal tea, what we consume, a black tea or milk tea, has caffeine, and caffeine prevents sleep. But this chamomile tea is a soothing effect because it contains apigenin. So you have a sleep problem, you can have a chamomile tea just before bedtime, which will try to soothe and calm you down and enable you to have a good quality sleep at night. So these are the sleep related solutions if you are having sleep problems. First of all, have a consistent sleep schedule. Sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. You should have a digital detox. You should not see the screen, any mobile or any electronic gadgets just before going to the bed. Limit your daytime napping and decrease the duration of the nap to less than 20 minutes. Bedtime relaxing activity you should do. Daytime you should do activities, as well as you should get yourself exposed to the early morning sunlight, which helps you in getting a good quality sleep during the night. Have an early dinner and prevent any stimulant, especially tea, coffee, smoking and alcohol late in the evening. And your bedroom environment should be conducive, should be cool, dark and calm to have a good quality sleep. And there are some foodstuffs which has magnesium and tryptophan, which you can include in your diet so that you can have a good quality sleep. If you like our content, kindly like and share and subscribe to our channel. And if you like our content, you can see this video.